Evening folks, hope everyone is well. This video is similar to the previous video, so I'm sort of re-recording some stems on an EP that I'm working on at the moment. All the stems have come out of a sampler, a software sampler, and I'm experimenting by re-recording some of those stems through external hardware. In the previous video it was a Model D, and that was all good. And in this video I'm using the Volca. I did allude to using one of my other hardware synths in the last video, maybe, and particularly the Wasp. Still to come, but I was really curious about using a Volca, and the Volca Modular. It will process audio through this weird effect that is wired into the Volca Modular, which is a slightly odd effect. Well, it's called microtune, and it's a kind of chorus unison reverby kind of effect. It's kind of its own unique thing, but yeah. Anyway, I thought that would be an interesting experiment and a new way of using and thinking about the little Volca Modular. Let's go. So similar deal to the Model D video here. I'm just setting up the Volca. There you go. Oh, let's move this out of the way. Let's just remind ourselves, Volca Modular, without any patching, totally usable synth. It's pretty decent sounding synth in my opinion. Without any of the sort of the funky patching. And that microtune, which is a kind of weird reverb chorus thing. It's kind of a bit of a kind of unique effect, kind of like a reverb but not a reverb, kind of like a chorus but not a chorus. All right. And then also similar deal for the Model D. This is now track 3. Just first track, lead isom 1, sounds like this. And again, sounds fine, nothing wrong with that. But I'm just curious to hear how it sounds going through the Volca. So I'm just going to open up the sort of channel routing, send to the master, untick that, add a new hardware output, hardware 3 and 4, awesome. So phono cable from sound card going into the CV in of the Volca. But if memory serves, that will also it'll also take an audio signal, are the words I'm looking for. So there's one little bit of patching to do with these, little tiny sort of Volca cables. I'll just show you on the phone. So you only need one, and these little things they come with the they come with the Volca, and from what I could tell this morning, from my experience, is either one of the kind of patch points from the CV in, and you're going to wire that directly to the in of the, what they're calling it, the microtune, that funky, is it a reverb, is it a chorus kind of effect. And so this makes sense. So like it's mostly geared towards control voltage, but then there's an audio, basically a direct audio into the reverb effect, which kind of makes sense. So essentially what we're doing is we're using the weird, is it a chorus, is it a reverb effect on the Volca Modular to process our audio, which that's that's all good and interesting. That's all good and interesting. So I think we're going to, turn these these isometer patches to sound something more like something that would come out of a Volca Modular. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? All right, so I've got the Reaper project set up. Got my new hardware send into the Volca Modular, into the mixer, so we're now ready for recording. Let's just take a listen to what we would be recording. So this is the original stem going through the Volca Modular. Doesn't sound any different to me. Doesn't sound better. Doesn't sound worse. So initially, this makes me think the Volca Modular. It's not really colouring the sound of the audio, which is well. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's a thing. So let's dial in the microtune effect. I'm going to turn it all the way up. Okay, let's turn it like 80%. I've got to say, I like that. How would I characterize it? Hard to say. How would you characterize it? A bit more spacey? Because if it's working like a chorus, is it just adding kind of some like unison effects? I don't hate it, but as always, we'll record it, we'll A/B it to the original, and we'll see which one we like the best. We can discard the new stuff, we can keep the original, we can discard the original, keep the new stuff, or we can make a mix of the both. Let's do some recording. Okay, I've just recorded track 1. I have to say, I'm liking this more than I'm liking the Model D recordings that I did. I gotta say. Now, obviously, I can mix and match, can't I? I can go back to track 2 that I recorded some stems of the Model D, put them through the Volca. That's all fine, and I can take track 3, put some of these stems through the Model D as well. So we've got lots of options. But let's take a listen to the recordings I've just done. So let's do an A/B comparison. I'm not going to tell you which one is the original and which one is the new one until after we've heard them. So let's do A. Let's do B. So, what did you think? Did you prefer A? Did you prefer B? So, the answer is A was the original and B was the Volca Modular mix. For me, B wins. B just having that microtune effect just adds a little bit of... It's subtle. Yes, it's subtle, and possibly you're sitting there going, dude, they're both the same. So again, we trick ourselves into thinking it's better because we've taken the time to set some hardware up and route the audio and re-record it, and I think, with the previous video with the Model D, there was definitely some of the stems were like, no, I prefer the originals. The Model D has changed it. It's not improved it. This, though, I really like. So I'm going to mute the original. Let's just go to the same section. That little nice little pad sound in the mix. Take the volume down a bit. Let's hear this. I'd say it's unnoticeable. Right, to be honest, unnoticeable. But that's a good thing. Yeah, this is cool. So this is definitely a keeper when I do the remaster of track. What's this, track 3? So now I might do. This is a bit more of a minimal track compared to the previous track. I'll take a look at one of the other stems. I don't think we need to do all of them. I need to do the bass and the arp and the drums as well. So I'll look for another stem, do another recording, and then see how that sounds as a kind of approaching a final mix. But this is cool. This is cool. I like this. This was a good idea. This was a good idea. Okay, let's call it a day for this video. I thought this worked really well. Yeah, so I thought that was a really interesting way of processing audio and using this crazy little modular synth. I've made a little mix down of the, some of the recorded stems going through the Volca Modular, and I'll just put that at the end of the video. All right, cheers folks, ta-ra.